The driver behind me first shot himself and then really wanted to tell me all about it. This is Jaecoo J7, a new Chinese crossover on the European market, and this is the 5th generation Kia Sportage, a model that needs no introduction. Where do Chinese brands stand today? Are they like the Korean brands 10-15 years ago, or maybe they caught up with them already? We'll find out soon enough. You'll find reviews of both of these cars on my channel, links in the video description. If you're here for the first time, subscribe and click the bell to get notified every time I post new reviews and comparisons. Channel members get to watch my videos early and without ads, so if you want to support me, please consider becoming a channel member. I'll be looking at the design, boot space, rear seats, cockpit, powertrains, ride and handling. Let's go.
Jaecoo J7 may look massive, but it's actually slightly smaller than the Kia Sportage. Jaecoo is 450 centimeters long, while the Kia is 451.5 centimeters long. The wheelbase is 267 and 268 centimeters respectively. Jaecoo is slightly taller at 169 centimeters versus Kia 164.5 centimeters. While the body width may be the same at 168.5 centimeters, Jaecoo's wing mirrors do not protrude beyond the waistline, while Kia's mirrors stick out slightly, so it is a wider car. Design. The Jaecoo J7 is boxy and looks more off-road worthy, even if it isn't. Kia Sportage, on the other hand, is clearly a city crossover. A couple of years ago, when I first reviewed the 5th generation Sportage, the car stood out from the crowd. Today it looks like everything else on the road. And which one of these two crossovers do you like better? Drop me a comment.
Jaecoo claims the boot volume is 480 liters in all-wheel drive car like this one. There is also a front-wheel drive model with 84 liters more boot capacity.
480 liters sounds great, but there's maybe 350 liters above the floor. The remaining 130 or so liters is below the floor, which you cannot drop. Under the space saver spare tire is a bump, probably because of the differential on this all-wheel drive model. There is also a styrofoam support on which the wheel rests, and then there is an insert around it, and it makes the space virtually unusable for storing larger items. There are some shopping bag hooks and even a hook to hang your coat, probably for when you're changing that wheel. There are anchor points to secure the luggage, as well as a 12-volt outlet. Good job with the LED lighting, which makes finding stuff at night easy. However, pay attention to the backrest angle. It limits the boot length when loading taller items. The boot dimensions by the floor are 85 centimeters depth, 97 centimeters width between the wheel arches, and around 35 centimeters up to the cargo cover case. If not for the awkwardly mounted spare wheel, there'd be another 15 centimeters below the floor and up to 30 centimeters without the spare. Fold the backrest in the second row and you get about 160 centimeters space with the passenger seat slid all the way back.
Kia Sportage, here with a full hybrid powertrain and front-wheel drive, should have a 590-liter boot. Spoiler alert, it doesn't.
There's about 400 liters above the floor and around 480 with the floor dropped. I doubt getting rid of the space saver wheel would give us the missing 110 liters, especially since cables visible at the bottom of the boot probably wouldn't hold up well to regular cargo transport. There are shopping bag hooks, anchor points to secure cargo, and a 12-volt outlet. Notice with the floor in its lower position, my gear case fits lengthwise also on its side, not just flat. That was impossible in the Jaecoo. In the Kia, not only is the boot deeper, but also the backrest angle is adjustable. The Sportage boot dimensions by the floor are 87 liters depth, 103 centimeters width between the wheel arches, 42 centimeters from the floor to the cargo cover case, and 49 centimeters with the floor dropped. The cargo space length from the sill to the passenger seat pushed all the way back is also 160 centimeters. I'll explain why in a moment. The cargo cover fits under the floor.
Doors cover the sills, there are door pockets, and there are also cup holders in the armrest, but there is no ski hatch as the backrest splits 40-60. There are two USB ports, USB-A and USB-C, but there's only one air vent, so someone's gonna be cold and someone's gonna be hot.
I'm 175 centimeters tall, the driver's seat is set to my driving position, I have 18 centimeters legroom and around 11 centimeters headroom. The latter number is a result of a rather relaxing backrest angle which cannot be adjusted. The seat width is around 130 centimeters, with the passenger seat all the way back there is 17 centimeters to the rear seat. The floor in the middle is almost flat.
In the Sportage, the doors also cover the sills. Now the door pockets are quite tight, but at least the backrest, oh my jacket, splits 40-20-40, so there's a pass-through to the boot. There's an armrest with cup holders. There are some USB-C ports, not here, they're here actually in the seats. The side seats are heated, there are air vents, and there is third zone climate control. Third zone climate control is only on the top GT line spec.
Unless I somehow shrunk between the scenes, I should still be about 175 centimeters tall. The driver's seat is also set to my driving position. I tried my best to maintain similar seat settings, and I made sure the distance from the knee to the dashboard is the same, so we can assume the seats are set as close to identically as possible. I have 18 centimeters legroom and around 8 centimeters headroom. However, here I set the backrest angle more upright because it is adjustable. The seat is about 130 centimeters wide. With the passenger seat all the way back, there is only 11 centimeters to the rear seat, but 6 centimeters difference is caused by limited range of seat adjustment in the Jaecoo. Also, the rear seat in the Sportage is about 55 centimeters deep, which is about 5 centimeters more than in the Jaecoo.
Jaecoo 7 has a heads-up display, a digital gauge cluster, and an almost 15-inch central display, which features a lot of settings but not much other useful content. It is mainly occupied by the OEM sat-nav or an Android Auto map, if Android Auto works, because for the first few days I had connection dropouts all the time. Maybe it's just this car. Other than that, you can play videos from a USB device, and you can do it even while you're driving. Well, you shouldn't, but if you really want to, for some reason you can.
Większość długości KII jest w tylnym zwisie, co może być istotne w przypadku trzeciego rzędu siedzeń i przestrzeni.
Jaecoo has a beautiful wallpaper which showcases the display quality. However, I did encounter some problems which I mentioned in this car's review. Finding some of the settings is difficult and almost impossible while driving, as the attention monitor is tripped even by looking at the rearview mirror for too long. Several functions like the windscreen defroster or seat heating are accessible also through physical buttons on the center console. Other features are controlled only via the screen. Some of them are in unmarked menus. Under the console is some storage area with USB ports and a 12-volt outlet. On the console you'll find cup holders and a drive mode toggle wheel and a gear selector. Then we have a decent sized storage under the armrest, air conditioned, and a small glove box. The door pockets are large. Interior finish quality is great. I find the cockpit visually interesting. I get the impression Chery designers drew inspiration from many models we know and like, and this is how we got this greatest hits mixtape. What similarities to other brands do you see in the Jaecoo 7?
KIA Sportage has two displays, one in front of the driver and one in the center of the dashboard. The infotainment system hasn't changed in recent years. I hope Kia gives us something new after the facelift, which is planned for 2025. Here we still don't get easy access to the driver assistance systems. I can program a button on the steering wheel to take me there, and then a couple of more clicks to disable ESA, for example. In newer models, I can just long press the mute button on the steering wheel to turn off ESA.
Android Auto works only with a cable, which is irritating because the USB cable obstructs the wireless charger. Under the display is a bifunctional panel for AC and media. I don't like it, and judging by the fact Kia is already offering another cockpit design in new models, I'm not the only one. Still, this is better than controlling everything through a tablet. Physical buttons are also for heated seats and heated steering wheel. Seat memory is also accessed via buttons rather than icons popping up on the screen for a moment. Storage under the armrest and the glove box are average size, the door pockets are tight, but the cup holders are huge, too big for Europe in my opinion. And I think the place under the center console could have been used better, like in the Jaecoo.
At the time of recording, Jaecoo has already announced the 7 will get a PHEV variant, but for now we have a 1.6 T GDI engine with 147 horsepower and 275 Nm of torque. You can choose between front-wheel drive and all-wheel drive. This is the latter.
Regardless of the powertrain, the Jaecoo can't tow, at least for now. Perhaps you can install a hitch for a bike rack, but make sure with the dealer this won't void your 7-year warranty. Performance is better than the manufacturer declares. 0 to 100 km/h should be 11.4 seconds. I got 10.5 seconds in normal mode and 9.9 seconds in sport mode. The problem is that when I really need to get a move on, like take off from a junction, the first half a second or so the car is thinking whether it really should, and then the driver approaching gets quite cross with me. Promised fuel economy is 8 liters per 100 kilometers, probably combined, and this is more or less what I was getting. A bit more around the city and on a dual carriageway, but less on B roads.
Soundproofing isn't great. Up to about 80-90 km/h I can hear other vehicles, and above 100 km/h there is a lot of wind noise and engine noise. This car is not for long road trips, unless of course you're coming from a Dacia Jogger, in which case you won't notice any difference.
Jaecoo 7 does get driver aids, something that cannot be said about what we currently get in bike and forthing. However, these driver aids are average at best. The ride and handling are also mediocre. It's okay to putter around town, but if you take a corner too fast, the torque is sent to the rear too late and too abruptly. This doesn't inspire confidence. Visibility is okay, but I'd like a better rearview mirror. In this one, I mainly see the rear seat and not much of what's happening behind the car. The 360 camera is great though.
KIA Sportage is available as an MHEV, HEV and PHEV. The mild hybrid can even be had with a manual transmission. Mild hybrids can tow up to 1.5 tons, full hybrids up to 1,360 kilograms and PHEVs up to 1,210 kilos.
This is the full hybrid front-wheel drive outputting 210 horsepower. Claimed 0 to 100 km/h time is 8.4 seconds. I got 7.7 seconds, both in eco and sport mode. There is no normal mode. Fuel economy of between 5.6 and 6 liters per 100 kilometers combined is achievable. The Sportage Hybrid is fuel efficient. It also gets an automatic gearbox rather than ECVD, so driving it is a much more enjoyable experience than Toyota hybrids. Toyotas may be more reliable, but in recent years they get less and less sound deadening. Sportage is rather well soundproofed and not just compared to the Jaecoo.
As far as driver aids are concerned, Kia added all the new stuff that's mandatory as of 2024. Make sure to set the front collision mitigation system to late reaction. A couple of times in traffic, the system applied full brakes. The driver behind me first shot himself and then really wanted to tell me all about it. Stinky business.
I like the blind spot view monitor. This feature displays the camera view from under the wing mirrors on the driver's screen when the indicator is on. This helps the driver see their blind spot. There is no need to take up the whole central screen like in the Jaecoo. As this Sportage is front-wheel drive, I won't perform my diagonal approach test. Watch my previous reviews of the Kia Sportage and the Hyundai Tucson, as well as the Jaecoo 7 review to see how it did off-road. Prices of the Jaecoo 7 start at around €31,500 for the front-wheel drive model. The all-wheel drive Jaecoo 7 also gets things like HUD, heated steering wheel, front seat ventilation, electric lumbar support adjustment, or driver seat memory settings, and it costs €36,000. Kia Sportage prices start at around €34,700, not much cheaper than a fully loaded Jaecoo with all-wheel drive. This here is a top-spec front-wheel drive full hybrid for around €52,000. Both brands offer a 7-year warranty.
In my opinion, the Kia Sportage is a better car than the Jaecoo 7, but is it €16,000 better? I'm not so sure. And what do you think about the Jaecoo 7 and the Kia Sportage? Are you ready to plunge into the unknown for a lower price, or do you prefer tried and tested cars, but for more money? Let me know in the comment section below.
If you like my sarcastic, down-to-earth and possibly mildly amusing car reviews, join me every Friday at 3 p.m. Central European Time, and don't forget to subscribe and like this video as it helps me with the YouTube algorithm. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.